Worry the cat and scare the dog. I just called, you were busy with worry. I heard scare the dog, trying to relay sorry. I left you a message on the wall, dear cherry. Your decorator painted over like a thoughtless fairy. It's not too late, my love. Please accept my apology and gratitude.
Hello, good day, and welcome back to Tarotsky's podcast. Yesterday I went to a spiritualist church that's about 30 miles away from my home that I hadn't been to before, as I thought I would be going in without preconceived knowledge and be able to observe and record what actually happened. Observations recorded are my observations and my opinions. My bias is towards communication and how we create this communication link. Before we even get to the church, I did notice that the area, although very densely populated, had numerous amounts of churches. This little church nestled in the suburb of the metropolis was discreet and very, very homely and welcoming. On entering the church, I was immediately aware of the fact that the church operated within a hierarchy system, with the clear words private over a door leading into probably a sacristy or vestry. Although this may be an area where people go to change into comfortable clothes for the service, it can also be seen as a vehicle for people to establish that they have been through some kind of ritual that says they're above the rest of the congregation. I'll read verbatim from this church's website and advise that most of the other churches that I have been to operate on the same level. And it says, our services contain no rituals or dogma, although a standard format is followed. We have hymns followed by an address on spiritual philosophy. There is a medium at all of our services who attempt to communicate with our departed loved ones and give advice of their survival and that they continue to take an interest in our lives. Okay, so that's just a little tiny bit of the website. So the services contain no ritual or dogmas. I identified, first of all, the actual label private, which was obviously for the hierarchy to enter and to in some way get themselves together on preparation for the service. And the word hymn as a noun, it refers to praising, and as a verb, it is a celebration of the praising by singing. These hymns appear to be pop songs of the time. Seating is arranged in pews leading with a path down to a raised platform, functions as an altar, where the people from the room marked with private emerge from and go onto the altar. Sitting in this spiritual church, I thought of an event that happened quite a few years ago. It was where my younger daughter had arranged a birthday party for her older sister's birthday in an Indian restaurant. At the time, she decided she was not going to. She was only inviting her sister's husband, and two children. Obviously, her and her then husband, and her two children. My grandson, who was quite small, was a baby actually. Anyway, at the time, I thought, oh, I'll just pop into the venue. I knew of the actual event, and I knew that only her sister's family had been invited. And I thought, oh, I'll just pop in and leave a birthday present. So I went to the restaurant, and there was nobody there except the waiters and the matriarch. I said, sit down and have a cup of tea or something first. And so I said, I just wanted to leave the present. and thought, oh, well, I might as well sit down and have a cup of tea. And then another waiter came over and said he had drawn up the party table arrangement exactly as my daughter told him, even with the baby being in a high chair. The baby at the time was about 1.5. Actual the organisation for the party, I've detailed it exactly, and he showed me the actual layout of the table and all the names of on the table, including the baby's high chair was there. And I just looked at it and I thought, I'm not there. I'm just not here. Had I died or just never existed? All of a sudden, the emotion was just overwhelming, and I just couldn't figure it out. It was completely, random. I had to leave. I couldn't even say I left the present and just left. Obviously, a piece of paper at the time was like a certificate. My mother had died when I was 12, and this was a certificate saying, "Wake up, she's gone." Her label, grandmother, had gone because she died years before, wasn't there. And my label, mum, had died and was living on earth as a ghost somewhere. And this poor waiter trying to make sense that it wasn't his fault and that in his culture he'd never ever heard of such a thing. It was like as if my mother had died and there was a vacuum. It was, and these people were alive, and I just wasn't. This sounds a bit over dramatic. It probably was at the time, but at the time I felt very, very emotional about the whole thing and not able to see what had actually happened. Her husband had been having an affair with a rookie at the police station. He was a policeman, and the mistress was a new trainee police lady. I had spent years in sorting out other people's problems and finding solutions, and here I was in the very depths of my own and my daughter's. At the time, I even wondered if it was some kind of purgatory, and here I was sitting in a spiritualist church where the medium was talking to dead people, and I couldn't even talk to live people. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Scottish poet Sir Walter Scott. The poem talks about two men who want to marry one woman. The lady, who is an heiress and very rich, so one wants to marry her for her money, and the other actually loves her. We've previously spoken about Jill Bolte Taylor, the American neuroanatomist, author and public speaker, and how she describes the brain within our skull in 4 separate parts. The left-hand hemispheres of inside brains contain what she calls brains 1 and 2. On the right-hand side, or the right hemisphere, she calls brains on that side brains 3 and 4. As a neurolinguist, I separate the 5th brain as the reptilian brain. The reptilian brain has the chemical capacity to close down. The capacity for the 4 brains she speaks of close down in preparation for fight or flight. Previously, I had mentioned on entering the spiritual church, my observation was drawn to the word private on the room leading into the sacristy or vestry or some such room. From Jill's analysis, I would have been in what she calls brain 1, Helen, where divisions and boundaries are seen. The label above the door clearly indicated private as the boundary. This had been a map. Brain 1 Helen may have seen this as a cul-de-sac. Evidence of an emotion tells us that brain 2 was involved. Brain 3, as Jill describes it on the right-hand side, only wants to play, and with brain 2 now becomes curious. My brain 5, the reptilian brain, has not seen any danger though, because I'm there and I'm sitting comfortably. The 4th brain that Jill talks of in the right hemisphere does not have any access to language. This particular hemisphere may be equivalent in tarot cards as probably 3 the Empress. Now, of course, same way the brain has neurotransmitters that may be able to go to other parts of the brain for help. 3, the Empress tarot cards may also have other cards that can act in the same way. So now, listening to the medium, we have Jill's 4 brains described anatomically and my 5th brain separated and acting as the reptilian brain. We then go on to the brain 6, which is located outside of our skulls and which we assume the medium is talking through. I did send an email to the spiritual church leader inviting a right to reply, and as they didn't, I'm assuming it's firmly locked within the room with the label private. I imagined I was standing in a navy blue nun's habit and presumed the colour was indicating the throat chakra. Some pretty horrific news events prompted me to relay the stories of my own communication problems that now need attention and creating a possible narrative for a reasonable intellectual analysis of the possible events. All human beings are born of human flesh and die, leaving behind all remnants of the human flesh. So the left-hand hemispheres of our calculating brains are no longer available to us humans. The right-hand brains are slightly different in that we don't actually know their true functions, as they do not contain any capacity for language. These organic clusters do not have a capacity to transmit anymore, as they no longer exist. However, the Trotsky brain 6 that sits on top of the head, invisible to human eyes, and may be significant in the spiritual church for a vehicle of relaying of language. Developing this effective language from the spirit world to the human world of this earth. Now, when we leave the body, we leave all the mechanisms of life. They no longer have any value. So the ego, the superego, the consciousnesses are no more. No longer need the processing centres of the right and left hand brains, and we certainly do not need the reptilian brain because we do not need to make our way and survive on Earth. So the 6th brain, the invisible brain that we never saw on Earth anyway, may be a centre we need to look at.
Worry the cat and scare the dog. I just called, you were busy with worry. I heard scare the dog trying to relay sorry. I left you a message on the wall, dear cherry. Your decorator painted over like a thoughtless fairy. It's not too late, my love. Please accept my apology and gratitude. We all must follow our own mapped routes. Until then, I'll wait patiently for you. The timeless notes sounded from a sweet lullaby flute, pitched to the sound waves floating is priceless. It's not too late, my love. Please accept my apology and gratitude. As worry the cat and scare the dog, sleep contented, full-bellied, with the blanket of love written in big red letters they cannot read, clearly understanding the meaning. It's not too late, my love. gratitude. If you feel I'm an angel stalker, know the pearly gates have a knocker. All earthly shenanigans chalked on the board, dissolved, gone forever, cut the cord. It's not too late, my love. Please accept my apology and gratitude.